What's going on, everyone? Today we are working on a Nintendo GameCube. Let me go ahead and plug it in and show you what's going on here. It's kind of a common issue with these GameCubes. I don't know if it's the laser gets weak, but let me plug it all in and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Adjust the camera. Okay, so when I turn it on, power's on. That, I think, is a battery. I don't think that has anything to do with what I'm going to be fixing today. I think the battery inside needs to be changed out. Let me plug a controller in here. But I'm going to throw a game in real quick. I'm going to throw Shrek in. And you can hear it. It says there's no disc. It's not even spinning. So I'll jump back down here and I'll show you what I'm talking about as far as it's not spinning. Easiest way to tell, put the disc in perfect. Turn it on. I mean, you can feel that it's not. You can feel the laser going back and forth. But if you open it up, you can see the disc has not moved. So let's take it apart and I'll show you what I think it could be, and it might not be. This might be a repair video, it might not be, but I think it's a 3.8. I forgot what the millimeter this is, but this is a game bit, they call it. You can get it on Amazon, eBay. I already took 3 of the screws out, but there's 4 screws, the 4 holes in each corner, and I'll show you what I'm talking about as far as it's this type of screw. It's kind of like a security bit that Nintendo's been using for years on all their systems. Once you take those 4 screws out, this pops right out. Let me actually back this camera up a little bit so you get a better look. And there's your lens. And here's the battery. I think I'm going to have to change for that setting. But as I look at this, this thing looks like it's gotten wet. Some rust in there, that's for sure. But I'm going to do what I think could be the problem, which is resetting the voltage regulator on the disc. So these just pop off. They're just clipped on to the side here. The back just comes off like that. Now you have all of these screws. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 over here underneath this. This is the only tricky one. There's 2 screws holding this fan down. Once you take those 2 screws out, it just pops out. Yeah, that's a little scary. A lot of rust in there. I bought this at the flea market for $5. I figured no wires, no cords. The guy didn't know if it worked. I figured if anything, I can use it for parts because it is the more desirable one. It has the digital AV out, which I can't afford the wire for it anyway, but it is the more desirable one, not by much, but a little bit. So there's 3 screws underneath that fan that we just took out. You could just pop the fan to the side. You don't need to actually unplug it, just leave it there, because what you're trying to get out is this and this will all come out in one piece. So you take out those 4 screws, or 3 screws, and you take out these 4 screws. And they're all the same screw. There's no different screws to worry about. There is some different screws up front, and I'll show you those when we get there. There's a lot of rust on this. this don't work, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this. I'm not sure if the parts are good on it. So there's those 4 screws, and then there's these 5 screws going across. All those need to come out. This is my second GameCube. I just fixed the first one. But the problem I think this one is too, that the disc don't read or the disc don't spin. What's happening is there's not enough power getting to this. And so there's a regulator or a pot, they call it, underneath. I don't like all this either. Anyway, so now on the front, there's these the grounding plates for the memory cards. There's 2 screws holding each one. They gotta come out. There's slightly smaller screw, and they're longer. I'll show you what they look like. That's these ones here. This whole plate comes out, and as you can see, they're a lot longer screw, smaller. I just keep it in there, that way I don't lose them. And there's 2 of them because there's 2 memory card slots. I'm hoping this is a quick video. There's a lot of rust in this. You know, everything should just pop out. And what comes out, this is plugged into this. When it's, so there's no ribbon cable or nothing to detach. Yeah, there's a lot of rust in there. I'm not liking that. I'm surprised this thing turned on. Anyway, now there's these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws in here that need to come out, and they're all small, tiny little screws, so do not lose them. Oops. Trying to be quick to make it a quick video. Once you get everything apart, you can test it without putting all this back together too. It's a little easier. But this is a great system. I love this system. Out of this gen, I mean, I played the Xbox the most, but sorry. Let me just aim this down a little bit. Trying to do this and film at the same time is a lot harder than it appears by watching it. This system was always my go-to. I mean, the Xbox I played the most because of the Xbox Live, but this had a lot of fun games on it, and the games seemed to be... The controller I liked better, which this controller is a mess that came that I have to use at this system. It's missing the stick. That stick is missing the pad. They need to be... It needs to be sticked, and that'll probably be a separate video. Alright, so now those are all out. This just pops out. All it is a protective shield. I'm going to have to... I might soak this in... off a video, I'll be soaking this in vinegar. It gets a lot of that rust off there. But if you're looking at this, this is right here what they call a pot, and it's a voltage regulator for the... And it has... If I can get in... It almost looks like a screw, almost like a Phillips. And that regulates the voltage to the disk drive. So I'm going to use my... I'm just going to check the ohms. And it should be around anywhere between 300 and 500, I believe is where they say. But there's one leg on this side, right there. If you can... There's a one shiny piece right there. There's one leg. And this side has 2 legs. There's one at the bottom and one at the top. We want the one at the bottom. So we're going to go one on the one leg. And then one at the bottom leg. And we're at 390, which... So we're going to shoot some more voltage in it and see if that works. And to do that, you got to go counterclockwise. So you got a small jeweler's screwdriver. I'm gonna knock it down to 200. So you just turn it slightly, like an eighth of an inch, and we'll test it again. Yeah, we're right at 200. That's right where I want to be. I'm gonna try that because the other GameCube that I did before, 200 was the sweet spot, and I cranked it up I like to keep it up a little, crank it up a tiny bit. So we're gonna put the metal plate back on. And like I said, I'm gonna get a freaking infection with how bad this thing is. I don't need to put everything back together. I can just go right from here. I'm just gonna plug it in. We're gonna adjust it. Well, let's see if the disc spins first. Because that was and to do that without the shell on, you hold these, there's like two levers in the back here. You hold them down and you press this button. And there, now it's spinning. It wasn't spinning before, so it was definitely the voltage regulator. Now let's see if we have gameplay. It does actually. I gotta try to. I don't have enough hands. Let me adjust the camera. I'll shut it off and I'll show you what I'm talking about. It's amazing what just a little adjustment will do. Now, I don't know, too, if by chance it will go back to, if it will go back, get any worse. I mean, I guess this is signs of the laser wearing out. Let me plug a controller in. Then hit the reset. Okay, so I hit the start button, and the game's loading. Now, I don't know if I want to keep it at 200. I might kind of raise it a little. But as you can see, the game works. Spinning, everything works. I'm just going to have to change that battery, which that's like any other battery swap if you watch on YouTube. I actually did a battery swap for a Pokemon game on this channel. It was very similar to that. So, shut this off. Bring this back down. So I got this decrepit GameCube to work. Like I said, this is the battery here. I think that's what needs to be changed for the... Actually, yeah, it's a tab battery. It's just like these style batteries. It's got the tabs on it. I'll be changing that out. I don't know what I'm going to do with this system because it's pretty rusty and stuff. I don't know how long it's going to last. But at least I got it working. And, you know, that's how you... If you have an issue with a GameCube that has not reading a disc or it's not spinning, it only takes a slight turn, and that's it. So I'm going to button this back up, and I appreciate you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.